Greetings and salutations, and welcome back to Two Dummies That Just Watch, a sports podcast between friends. This is episode number 19, the Bobby Ojeda episode. I am one of your hosts, Will Hernandez, and I am here, as always, with my co host, and that is Mr. Lee J. Perilla, who has survived his trip on the 6 train from this evening. Sir, tell me how your night went after you got out of work today, because I'm curious.
First of all, I hate football.
We'll get there. We'll get there.
So I was meeting Melissa to go for a quote unquote apartment interview. I never did that before, but just a meeting between a landlord and us after he reviewed our paperwork.
Yes.
So I have to take the 6 train there. And I used to take the 6 train when I lived in Parkchester, and that train is a nightmare. It started with some woman being very, very explicit with her language and what she was doing to some particular man. I'll say that. Everyone use their imagination. But it was it was cringe. I was like, she's speaking so openly and freely. So what I got from it was that she was the second chick. And she was in his house, and when his girl was gonna come home, she was also talking about beating her up. It was very cringe, sir. It was too much. It was just too much. There was a lot going on.
It sounds like cringe.
Next thing you know, we're at the platform at 103rd in Lexington. And after 5 minutes of waiting on this packed ass train, they decide to put the train out of service. And whoever has traveled the 6 train at 103rd in Lexington, that platform has to be the smallest platform in all of New York City platforms.
That's the one in like Spanish Harlem, kind of, right?
103rd in Lexington.
Okay,
that
yes, I
platform
know
is
it.
so
Yes.
small. Now imagine
Yes.
a train, 12 cars, 13 cars, however long it is, and every train car is packed. Now everyone has to stay on this little tiny platform.
Oh, God.
Right then and there, I just wanted to puke everywhere. I said, we had to be there at 6:30. Now I'm cutting short on time. It's already 5:40. I'm like, so now being that train was taken out of service, 2 trains passed and didn't stop because now they're behind.
Right.
So I went outside and I got a Uber, which was of course surging at the time. Not as bad as I thought. $45 to where I had to meet Melissa. All well and dandy. But this is the nightmare of living here. And these people trying to trick me to say, yep, the subway system's awesome. It's not. It's not. Between the people that ride the train and the nightmares that happen of just deciding to put a train out of service blows my mind. In the middle of rush hour.
Yeah, that sucks.
That you can't. They closed the door immediately because you don't know what was happening. People on the train, when they got on the platform, they saw the conductor and the motorman. They started cursing them out. And I know it's not their fault, but guess what? You're an easy target.
Yeah.
You're there.
That's the appropriate adult response. Yell at the
Right.
2 employees.
I'm not going to do that, but other people are. They're angry. They came from work. Such and such and such and such. It was a nightmare. I got there. Thank God I got there on time and whatever.
I mean, the thing that makes it even worse is that there's a Yankees game tonight, and it's the World Series. So I can only imagine that train was full of filthy fucking animals.
They don't even say why they put the train on. Not that it matters, but they don't say anything. There's no communication. Just everybody get off the train. This train is being put out of service. Thanks.
That's awesome.
That sounds like it's something made up because you wanted to play games. But okay, whatever. We'll play the reindeer games. There's nothing else I could do.
Sir, best city in the world. Don't forget that.
I've been told. I've been told that.
You know what I will say one thing, because this goes back to, here's a positive about New York City, and this goes back to what we talked about for our Mount Rushmore, correct? Because here's the thing, I don't think I've taken you to this place yet around here. There's like a bootleg deli that's across the street kind of from the Dunkin' Donuts near here. And they've got, you can get sandwiches and stuff there. So I walked in there, I think it was on Saturday night, Friday night or Saturday night. I can't remember exactly what day it was. But I'm thinking, okay, I'm hungry. I had an early dinner. I'm fucking starving. I'm gonna go get like a chicken wrap or something. I get to the counter. I start giving the guy my order. He's like, "Oh, sorry, sir. The deli closes at 9 p.m." And I'm like, "Wait a minute. What time do you guys open to?" "Oh, we're open till midnight." Okay, deli closes at 9. You guys are open till midnight, and I can see all the stuff just laying out there to make everything. And I turned around and looked at my watch, and I'm like, I guess I'm gonna go to the supermarket and get something because they have like those pre-made sandwiches. And as I'm walking out of the store, the guy's like, "Oh, sorry about that." And I just kind of turned around and looked at him and headed out because you know what I wanted to say to him something about how are you guys? I can see all your food right there in the deli. Everything was out, bro. Everything was still out, like all the meats and everything. And you're telling me you can't like make me a sandwich quick or something like that?
No, get
So
out.
no, so it's just like I immediately thought, like, oh my God, I gotta remember like where I live. But here I was thinking, you guys are open late, you're open to midnight. You guys should at least I can understand, oh, we'll close about 90 minutes, an hour before the store closes. We stop making stuff because we gotta clean up. But 3 hours before? Come on, man. That is again going back to what we've talked about with the Mount Rushmore. That is definitely one thing that I miss about living in an urban area is that you can go out your door and get anything you want at whatever time you want. And because you got that fucking deli
Some
that's 2 blocks from your
something some
house.
something's open that you can eat.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. I just want a fucking sandwich. I just wanted a fucking sandwich. Anyway, this is a sports podcast. Like I mentioned before, episode number 19. We are going to come to you twice this week because of scheduling issues and well, there's a lot going on too. And the more I thought about it, the more I said to myself, you know what? I think we should just split up the week and talk about a few topics today. We're going to hone in on the Mets in the back part of this conversation. That's going to be the majority of this episode this week. But we're also going to talk about the Jets and what's happening in the World
Do we
Series,
have
which
to?
is yeah, we do. It's not even really the game itself; it's the other stuff because I think that's more fun right now. But we're gonna come back to you Thursday because on Thursday we will get in what's happening tonight with the Giants. Talk about the World Series too as well. Maybe it'll be over by then. Who the fuck knows? Um, and some basketball because there's already bullshit happening there that I can't deal with right now. Specifically with a certain fellow by the name of, it's appropriate. I just thought about this that the guy's initials are BS. Think about that for a second.
Real
Anyway,
quick, Fat Joe's performing at Yankee Stadium before the game.
I don't care.
Just letting you know, Fat
I
Joe.
don't
I'm
I
looking
don't
at him right
care.
now.
I have it on. I have the Giants game on my iPad, and I'm occasionally. So that's their response. So for people who are unaware, and we'll get into this
That's their
before
response
game.
to Ice Cube, yes,
Yeah.
because they can't get Biggie, because we know how that goes.
Well, sir, I don't want to see Biggie in the Bronx anyway. I would not want to see that. And you can't really get Jay-Z there either because he's from Brooklyn. Fuck
He's not
that.
gonna. I don't know. Anyway,
Yeah. So let's like I said, we're gonna break up the NFL talk this week. So let's start with the Jets because I got two texts the past couple of days. One from people that we know. Well, you haven't met Eric, but his text to me after the game on Sunday, which the Jets lost, by the way. Let's get that out of the way first. They lost. What was the final score? 25-22. They are now 2-6 in the AFC East, along with the Pats. This game was a shit show. But I got a text from Eric that says The Jets just keep on finding ways to lose. And then today, Larry, who you obviously know, is like, "Are you guys going to need 3 hours today to talk about the Jets?" And I'm like, "I hope not," because I don't really think there's anything a lot to say about the game per se. But I will say one thing about the game itself, and this was something that kept on being talked about in the aftermath. Your kicker, your kicker cost you 4 points, and you lost the game by 3 because he misses the extra point, right, on a
Yeah, they
touchdown.
missed that field goal.
Yeah, and then later on in the game, they missed the field goal. Now,
So that's 4 points. Last week
yeah,
against that week against Buffalo, 6 points. The week against Denver, another 4 points, I think. So that's 10 right there. I saw nowhere in the headlines that this guy's been cut,
no, which
which is
is yeah, it's insane
I'm
to
not
me.
calling for people to lose their jobs because that's not what I'm about. But you got to be asinine, man.
I
There's
don't
got to be
understand
somebody
that.
better than this guy on the street, and you just I can't even explain it. How this guy's still on the team?
It makes
I,
no sense
it
to
makes
me.
no sense to me. I don't need numbers. The guy can't kick, man. He can't do his job, which is kick a football through two yellow posts. He can't do it.
And the thing is, he used to be one of the better, better people out there.
My God, man, it's
So I don't know if you have anything to say about the game itself, but it just seemed like it was the same old shit. And I texted you. It was that what have I texted you the past 2 to 3 weeks? Where have I seen this scenario before? Where it's late in the game and they have a chance to go ahead and win the game, and something just like happens, and everything just falls apart. And it happened again on Sunday.
one of my biggest takeaways from yesterday is that this clock thing seems to still be an issue. It's
I don't
so
understand that.
annoying. When they go line up, it seems like no one knows where they're supposed to be. There was many occasions that this guy was no him come this way. You're supposed to be here. You're supposed to be there.
Right. Yeah.
Like, what do you guys do at practice all day? You just smoke weed? You just grab each other's butts? Like, I don't understand. Like, I don't get it. And no more nicknames. I'm done. The only thing the Jets seem to be good at is to celebrate on plays that don't matter and they know how to dance. I don't care about that stuff. Sauce Garner, your bottle's empty. No more sauce for you, buddy. Getting roasted and toasted. Forget about it. DJ Reed, I'm done with that guy. Michael Clemens, I'm done with him. Javon Kinlaw, I'm done with him. I'm done with essentially everyone. The season's over. This doesn't make any sense to me. I don't listen to any sports talk radio
Excuse
today.
me.
I stood away from ESPN, social media. I felt so much at ease. I saw a couple clips here and there from stupid people talking, but that's fine. They're gonna always be stupid. I can't
And we're
help it.
gonna get into some of that,
There's no
but yeah,
medicine for that.
sure.
But it's the same. And what did you guys say? I don't know what they said today. I could just imagine. Well, we did a couple good things yesterday that we could, bring into next week. What next week? It's Thursday. You guys, in my mind, are gonna get obliterated. Even though the Texans haven't looked that good either, but I don't care. It's over, man. There's nothing that shows me that they're gonna turn it around. Especially it's all the same dopey errors, man. It doesn't make. I can't even explain it anymore. I'm done talking. I'm done saying. Oh, remember I didn't want this guy. I'm not gonna be that. I don't care. It did. I can't explain what I'm watching on television. I can't.
Well, one of the things, the penalties, man. They came into the game, and I made the note in the notes. I think I made the note in the format about. Well, I didn't. I think I erased it. But they came into the game, I think, one of the most penalized teams since I think week 2 or week 3. So that's a problem. But here's a crazy fucking stat, by the way. I don't know if you saw this.
I've
You
probably
probably
seen it.
didn't. About the zero turnovers. Did you see this one?
No, I'm not sure.
So the Jets had 0 turnovers in this game. So they didn't obviously did not turn
Oh,
the ball over.
yeah. Go ahead. Yep.
Yeah. They held the Pats to 247 yards and still lost. This is where this is fucked. They're the first team to lose a game in which they did not turn the ball over and held their opponent under 250 yards since week 3 of 2012. And here's the kick of the balls. Teams to do that had been 220-0 until Sunday. I mean, that's all you need to say. That's all you need to know. But here's
Their problem was they were giving up. They gave it up on the biggest drive.
Yeah, they did. Right. So here, go ahead. No,
I was going to. No, go ahead.
So here's where things start to get, because here's the situation now. We've seen it for weeks now. It's become a meme at this point. Who's Aaron Rodgers going to blame? Right? That's like the meme that's become. But now it's not even asking about who's Aaron Rodgers going to blame. It's who can come in and fix this. So today, and it hasn't been just today, as Lee J is covering his face for the audio listeners, it hasn't just been today.
My God.
Now, we could talk about two things here, because I think this has been the scuttlebutt all day today. You've got the owner and Woody Johnson, fans calling for him to sell, which, by the way, is not going to happen.
Jesus,
So
you
can we
people
stop
are so
talking about it.
You guys are simple. You guys are simpletons.
Well, let's take that part of it first, because there is no way in hell that man who's worth, I think he's a billionaire, first of all, that man is not going to willingly sell the Jets. And the only way that happens is if that man stands in the corner of Fifth Avenue and whatever, 42nd Street, and kills somebody with a gun. And then maybe the NFL will force him to sell the team. So, sir, let's take that part of it first. That and I saw this today in particular. There is a Jets fan group that a bunch of people from Boston that are in, because there's that bar in Boston that people go to. You and I have talked about this before. I can't tell you. I'm done. I am done with the Jets until Woody Johnson sells the team. Well, keep waiting.
You're lying. I'll tell you to your face.
That's
you're
what
lying.
I saw today. That's what I saw today. A lot what I saw today.
It's not happening. But here's the thing. Like I texted you before, these are the same people that were in agreement because they wanted this guy fired, because they wanted this kid out 2 years ago as quarterback. They finally got rid of him last year or this year. And now you want him to sell the team. Listen, I don't know how to see. I'm not the smartest person, but I also I'm not stupid. And all you guys are stupid. But this is the thing with everything. Everything is like a quick fix type of thing. Like let's say he was to sell it. Let's play this game. Let's play a quick game.
Sure.
Let's play this.
Sure.
Let's say we know it's not going to happen, but like I said, by the end of, let's not even say tomorrow. Let's say by the end of the week. So Monday of next week, it said that Woody Johnson has sold this, blah, blah, blah. And by Tuesday, all rights will be turned over to this new company, this new person, man, woman, whatever. Now what? Now what?
Nothing changes.
Because who's to say you don't got some, because everybody now, his opinion of Woody Johnson is that he's a terrible owner, right?
Yes.
Who's to say whoever he sells it to is worse than him? Where he messed up and when this went left is when he decided to step all over everybody's toes, fire this guy. It seems like Aaron Rodgers had a part to do with this. You get Devontae. I'm starting to think now, he told Joe Douglas, you better make that happen. Get Devontae in here for Rodgers. That hasn't worked out anything these last 2 games. This is just my opinion. This is how I'm seeing things from the outside.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, sure.
He's not selling the team. What did I tell you? This stuff doesn't work, man. I could tell you this as a fact, that this team has gotten worse.
Yeah, they have.
Since this guy was fired.
They have.
No one can argue that.
There's no discipline.
There's no one can, and that was the biggest problem, right? Oh, he doesn't know how to teach discipline. He's not a leader of men. But this team has gotten worse. Worse. What? What? I don't know. What else y'all want me to say?
Well, let's throw this out there now
Oh, the quick
because
fixes. Let's go with the quick fixes.
yeah,
Or
the
what they
quick
think is going to fix something.
another quick fix as the Steelers just scored. Uh Yippee ki motherfucker! Look at that Pickens had a anywhere touchdown. God damn it, he was one of the parlays for anytime touchdown tonight. Oh, it's a flag. Hold on,
It's coming
face
back.
mask. Yep. Anyway, now it's a face mask on the Giants. Anyway, so here's another quick fix because you sent me a clip today about it, and this is not the today was not the first time that we heard this. Let's bring back Rex Ryan
Oh God.
because he was the last guy to have success with this franchise. Judging by your response there, you want nothing to do with Rex Ryan, Bill Belichick, Bill Parcells. I mean, you're done with that talk. I'm
You don't go
assuming.
back to X's. This goes with anything in life. You move on. Oh my God, man. And these are the same people that said fire this guy, fire that guy. Yes, it was the right thing. But you have no answer for agreeing with that firing. But now what you're seeing in front of you is worse. Let's
Mhm.
start there.
Yeah.
Rex fine. Every now and then I catch a glimpse of the ESPN countdown show like on social media because I don't watch that. And I always feel like when I watch the Rex Ryan clips and he's going off in this, it's been a while since he's coached, and I feel like he's begging for another job. His time
Oh
has
yeah,
passed him.
he definitely
Your
has.
time has passed, buddy. You got to let this season play out. You bring in Rex Ryan now. What does that do, man? What does that do? He's putting on a show for the cameras. That's what he's doing. And like I said, let's be honest. You never, like I've always said, you never apologize for winning. But it's not like when Rex Ryan was here, he was winning, AFC East titles and beating Buffalo and beating New England. No, we got help those 2 years to get into the playoffs. Okay, so let's stop. Okay, and he's on the outside now looking in, talking all this rah rah shit. Just stay over there, dude. Don't bring his fat ass back here. You gotta, who I would love to see as head coach? The Detroit Lions offensive coordinator. I think his name is Ben Johnson.
Okay.
Oh boy, Freddie Freeman just hit another home run. When I watch Detroit Lions offense, it's like nothing I've ever seen. This guy tried these different things happening. You never know what they're doing. That's what you need. Somebody like that. Let's bring in Rex Ryan because he had a couple good years here. Come on, guys. That's lazy. To me, that's lazy. And I may get bashed for that, but I just think that's lazy. I just think
No,
that there's a lot more problems here than bringing Rex Ryan here and trying to figure this out because it's over. It's over.
I think the other issue too with Rex Ryan. By the way, I don't know if you saw there was an article in the Post today. Uh he's basically politicking for the job. Just letting you know. I don't know if you
That's what
saw
he's
that.
doing. That's what he's
Yeah.
doing.
Like he is politicking for the fucking job. Like with the
That's
media.
that's not even this year. I feel like he's been doing this the last couple years. The last interview he had was with Dallas as a DC. They didn't give it to him.
Yes.
They gave it to Zimmer. But before that, he's been pining and pining. Listen, dude, it's over. Forget it. Just stay, have your nice little cushy job in ESPN. It's done.
So here's the other thing too that I wonder about. So let's see. Last coached the Jets in 2014. He last coached in the NFL with the Bills. He was with
I
in
think maybe
2016.
2 years.
Yeah, he was there for 2 years. Mediocre. 8-8, 7-8. He hasn't been in the league now in almost 10 years.
Yeah, come on. Come on, man. I think
I,
he's
I
61 years old. And I'm not trying to do the ageism thing, but there's certain
no,
things when you become a certain age, it passes you. That style of football that you taught and that you are, that's not what it is today anymore. It's
that's
not that
exact.
anymore.
Yeah,
It's not. I'm
yeah,
sorry.
that's exactly where I was going. He seems to be. How do we know that? And this is the thing that I don't hear come up when people talk about Rex Ryan. How do we know the game hasn't passed him by? The league is completely different now than it was in 2016. We see that now.
He was a big offensive line guy, run. And Sanchez was mediocre. They didn't develop Sanchez. Look at Sanchez now.
Yeah.
You don't think that was partly to blame there? Yes, it was. That type of football does not exist anymore. Does not exist anymore. It just doesn't. I don't know. It's a lazy take, man. This guy's not going to come in and do anything. I'm sorry, he's not. They need to get together on. To be honest with you, play the year out. After the year, see ya and start from
Yeah.
scratch. That's the
Yeah.
best way to do it. I don't know what else
Yeah.
to say.
Yeah.
You can't go back another year with this guy another year older with these same guys. You keep on giving me the same rhetoric. Oh, by the way, Jets fans, I don't know if you knew this, city season ticket holders. Oh yeah, they raise prices. That's the balls that these guys have.
You heard that, Ronnie?
But here's the thing. As you know, a few years ago, I was a season ticket holder.
Right.
Part of me giving up my tickets was the commute home. I couldn't do it anymore. It was too much. But here's the other part of it. I had control of what I went to go see and watched because that's in my control. It was a terrible product. That was when Sam Darnold and when that bozo that sat next to us thought he didn't know
Yep.
nothing about
Yeah.
football.
Yes.
I said, I can't watch this anymore. Take him back. But here's the thing, guys, that you don't understand. They need us more than we need them. You know why? Because we all have sofas and televisions. And you could turn off the TV whenever you want, like I did yesterday. And I felt so much better about myself. But I'm not going to continue to give me money for parking lot, $20 beers, $20 hamburgers for you guys to do this. Just stop going to the games. Trust me, to this day, 7 years later, these people still call me.
That's insane.
To this day, they still email me and call. I got receipts, as they say, as the young people say. I have emails, text messaging, and phone calls from ticket reps trying to get me in, whether it be partial tickets, suites, or back to season tickets. They could get me better seats at a better price. No, go to hell. There's no way, bro. Come on, man. Not, and I told you I will not pick them for the rest of the year. I'm not picking them. I don't care who they're playing. I do not care.
Yeah, I think that they're right. They're going to have to retool the whole thing in the offseason and just, yeah, they're going to have to start from scratch, which is
Like I said
fucking
last week,
crazy.
I think sometimes people over evaluate the talent they have. And then you know what? Maybe they're just not as talented as they think they are. I'll leave it at that.
Yeah, that could be it. All right. We're recording this during Game 3 of the World Series, and the Dodgers are up to nothing. Freddie Freeman hit a 2-run home run. I just changed it to on my iPad to the game. But listen, right now, the Yankees find themselves in a 0-2 hole. But I think a lot of the chatter, and I watched both games, Game 1 and Game 2. And what happened in Game 1 is probably the most inexcusable thing I have ever seen in my life. And I'm not just saying that because, yeah, I know I'm a Yankee hater. Get it, got it. It's fine. But you had millions of Yankees fans going online Friday night after Game 1 and asking why a guy who had not pitched since mid-September was coming up in Game 1 of the World Series in extra innings against 3 of the best hitters in baseball, and it didn't work out. And I think the biggest thing that came out of that whole thing for me, by the way, if you guys don't know, Freddie Freeman hit a grand slam to help the Dodgers win the game in the bottom of the 10th that day. But you bring in Cortez, the pitcher in question here, because Aaron Boone thought, "Oh, I like the matchup. I
Oh,
felt good about the
God.
matchup." Yeah, it wasn't even. And let's throw analytics out the window because it wasn't even an analytical decision. It was, I liked the matchup, which I don't understand when you had another guy in the bullpen ready to go with Hill. But then they showed
Who's been so much better.
right. Then they showed numbers about Freddie Freeman and what he's done against lefties.
No one cares.
Bases loaded. No, that
No
he's
one
hitting well.
cares.
That he's hit well. That's the thing. So it kind
Even
of
if he's
made
hitting well, if he's hitting bad, what I'm saying is no one cares. I'm looking at it as it's Freddie Freeman and it's Nestor Cortez who hasn't pitched in over a month.
well, yeah. That's the whole thing. But it's not even. I think it even goes back to the beginning of that inning. Well, within that inning, because this is where shit got crazy, and I think some Yankees fans can't see the forest for the trees. And this is why we say you have to watch, because not everything is like on the surface. So what happens? They have first and second, right? And Cortez comes in for Ohtani to pitch against Ohtani. Again, lefty-lefty matchup. Guys, I know the box score is going to say that Cortez got Ohtani out, but Ohtani got himself out in that situation. And you want to know why I say that? Go back and look at that pitch, that first pitch. It was a 92-mile-per-hour meatball down the fucking middle.
Sometimes you just get lucky.
That's exactly what it was. It was luck. It was pure fucking luck. And I'm going back and forth with Carl about this. And I'm like, bro, it was the next day. I took a picture of it on MLB Network because I was watching the replay of the at-bat of that inning. And I took a picture because they paused it. 92-mile-per-hour, belt high down the middle. And guess what? Ohtani was feeling in the, and this happens, again, and I'm not comparing what we did in Little League or high school, whatever, to these major league players. But sometimes you get overexcited, overzealous.
And you just miss it.
And you miss the fucking pitch. And that's what happened. Ohtani missed the pitch. And to make things even worse in that situation, here's where things got worse and people don't understand the fucking rules and what it meant going forward. Because don't forget, Verdugo, in hindsight, should have let that ball drop. And I'll tell you why. Because he catches the ball and he goes over the fence into the crowd. Now, apparently, I think this is something new. It's a dead ball. And the runners actually get a base to move up. And Fox was even confused because when they went ahead and they walked Mookie Betts, if you look at the signature, the little graphic thing, they still had guys on first and second when Betts got walked. No. It was second and third. And if you go back and watch that, the play, the umpire at third base is pointing to the bases for them to move up. So that fucks everything up because then you know what happens. They walk Mookie Betts to load the bases because you got a little gimpy Freddie Freeman who is more of a double play. I don't know if I can say gimpy, but I did. More of a double play threat. So then what happens? We all know what happens. Another fucking meatball down the middle into right field. Kirk Gibson is reenacted from 1988. Game over. And Yankees fans are calling for fucking Aaron Boone's head after that game. And rightfully so. Anyway, I've said a lot there.
Because Cashman and Steinbrenner is going to fire him right after that game. I mean, this is stupid. Like, it's dumb. I'll go before that. Why was Cole being taken out at 88 pitches?
I don't know. He was dominating.
Dominating at 88. What? You know what I think too? Maybe this is an analytical thing. Maybe it's not. Maybe, you know what I think? They overthink things.
Oh yeah, they definitely.
So now they're starting to say to themselves, if he throws another 12 to 15 pitches or happens to go, God forbid, goes over 100 pitches, will he be available for us in game 4 like we might need him to be? We might need to go game 1, game 4, game 7. Because that's what it would be. He could go game 1, game 4.
Might need him tomorrow.
Right?
Yeah, but the way it's going right now. Yeah.
Here's my thing. When game 1 was happening, is game 4 happening at the same time?
I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Just worry about the game. Bro, that guy was dominating. What I told you. That's the guy I'm not worried about when it's time.
Yeah.
He showed that.
He did.
88 pitchers. 80.
He's a guy that can go like 120. and
I
you don't have
don't
to worry about it.
understand, man. I don't for the life of me, I don't understand. And maybe, it's a little whatever. I wish maybe Cole would have maybe found a way to talk him out of it, keep him in the game. That was frustrating. That was frustrating because they could have won that. They should have won that. The Yankees should have won that game. The Yankees should have won that game. I don't know, man. This. They actually look like the Mets swinging a lot of terrible pitches too,
I know. By the
especially
way,
game two.
yeah,
Ugh.
yeah. By the way, as he just struck out again?
Yeah, I can't
Where
explain
the
the judge thing.
where the fuck? What is happening? I it's an interesting discussion, I think, because and I told you there were times in that in uh the Cleveland series where well, I'm sorry. Yeah, it was the Cleveland series where I felt like you would have been better off pitching the Judge instead of Soto, especially when he hit the home run in that game. I said, why don't you just pitch the Judge? Why the fuck not? Because he's hitting like shit.
Yeah, I can't
I
explain what's happening to him.
so I guess that begs the question because I'm already seeing it. Like I'm seeing it. Oh, he's only a regular season player. He doesn't come through in the postseason when it matters because he's had these problems before. We've seen it happen in the postseason. I don't even know. I don't know what to say about it because it doesn't make any sense.
The one thing that's not fair that I've been hearing about, and it's stupid to me. They start, questioning his legacy and all this other stuff.
Oh, that's stupid.
It's stupid because here's why that's stupid. Baseball is not like any other sport, and what I mean by that is, in basketball, you can have a superstar carry your team to a championship. You can. It's been shown. It happens. Football, you have the QB, decent pieces around you. It could happen.
We're seeing that with Mahomes right now.
Baseball, Judge could be 20 for 20. If the rest of the team is not hitting, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's true.
It doesn't matter. Everything in baseball needs to line up: pitching, relief, every other position, everybody that's hitting, everyone needs to hit. Well, when the majority of people need to hit, at least your superstars. That's why, to me, his leg it doesn't get tarnished. But I think it's just like these narratives that people create just to have something to talk about is stupid and weird to me. It doesn't make sense. Can we explain what's happening to him in the playoffs? Because, like you said, this is not the first time. I can't explain it. The only thing I say is like he's thinking too much. He's got too much pressure. He's putting too much pressure on himself. That's a simple answer. Besides that, I don't know what's happening.
It's very Pete Alonso like. I
Yeah,
think
like
in some ways.
and this don't even have to do with money because he has his money. It's
Right.
just like
Yeah.
he's getting up there and he feels like he's got to do like hit a grand slam every time he's up. Dude, if the bases are empty, you can't hit a grand slam. Just hit the ball, get on base, and keep the line moving.
Here's my question to you because I'm curious. Yeah, I guess I saw some of the legacy stuff, but what is the context that they're talking about the legacy that it takes away from what he's done in his
Yeah, because
career? And
a lot of Yankees have won championships. Because now
so we're
they
talking about
started going into the comparison of like Joe DiMaggio. I'm like, come on, man,
different
that was a
game. It was a
different
different game.
time. At that time there was maybe what 3 teams in the league. I'm just kidding, but you know what I mean. It's a different. It
Like
was a different.
12.
Even with Joe DiMaggio, it was a different game, man. If you guys expecting Judge to carry you can't. It's hard for an individual player to carry a whole baseball team to a championship.
Yeah, that doesn't happen.
It doesn't happen. It doesn't happen. I just think people like to talk about something and it makes it look worse if you're a fan of another team, especially if you're a fan of the Mets, to make it seem like you're being a hater, which maybe you are, but maybe it's just that I just think it's a talking point that people want to create that doesn't make sense to me.
That's fair. Well, let me tell you something. What are they? What inning are they in right now? They're in the third, going to the third, bottom of the second. Let me see.
Well,
They're
the
on a
Yankees,
hold.
I think it's the top of the second, no?
They are top of the second, and they're down to nothing. Freddie Freeman hits a 2-run home run. That guy's gonna be the MVP if they fucking win this series.
Definitely.
It's looking. It's only the second inning. Let's see what happens when we record on Wednesday. Where we are. If the I it would be crazy if it was a sweep, but I don't think that's going to happen. Anyway, all right. We are at our main event of this episode, and we talked about this last week that this was something that I want to do, something that we wanted to do, because I think it's important as our podcast of, it's this. Listen, this is a New York sports tinged podcast, and the Mets are our favorite team, and right now they are entering what I consider, and I feel like I've said this a million fucking times before, but it's a pretty important offseason. And let me set the stage here before we really dive in. They have $180 million coming off the books. And the crazy thing about that is that a lot of it is dead money with the likes of Scherzer and Verlander and Omar Narvaez, and there's a couple of other people in there as well. So the question now is, what do the Mets do with all that cash? And Stearns last week had a press conference and they talked about it and they were asking him different questions about different people. And it's too early. We're not going to know anything until I think the day after the World Series is when those free agents can file. And then I think it's 4 days afterwards is when shit really starts happening. And then the winter meetings happen in early December and blah, blah, blah. So you have to figure that a substantial amount of that money is earmarked for Soto to get him, to go after him. And we know by now, despite this stupid rumor about the Dodgers getting involved, which I don't believe, it's going to be the Mets and the Yankees. That's who is going to be going after Soto. But even if you sign Soto, there's still a lot of money left over to remake the pitching staff really from top to bottom, starters and the bullpen. And I think we've mentioned this before, you figure guys like Marte and McNeil aren't safe, even though they have time remaining on their contracts. I think Marte has 1 more year and McNeil might have 2 more years. Anyway, you throw in the Pete Alonso scenario, and, it's going to be a significant offseason. So what I want to do with Lee J, we're going to do a few things here, make this a little fun. We're going to go through the pending free agents. We're going to go through player by player that made the NLCS roster. And then we're going to get into our wish list and see where the conversation leads. But, sir, first thing, what do you think about this opportunity that they have so much, almost $200 million coming off?
Spend it. I don't care anymore. I've been watching baseball since I could remember. I don't have another 40 years.
You sure? I mean, that'll put you at what, 86?
I can't celebrate well at that age. I want to be able to celebrate well. I want to be able to jump around, maybe blow out a knee. I don't care. I can handle a blown out knee now. I can't handle a blown out knee at 87. Okay? Spend the money. I don't care anymore.
But I mean, you got to spend it. You got to spend it smartly. Though.
Spend the money. I don't care. Spend the money,
but smartly.
You know the players that are out there. You know the players that the fans want. You know who's worthy of being signed. Spend the money
smartly. Anyway, all right. Because we're not doing the worst thing money can buy again. I'm not doing that. I'm not going through that again. I think Stearns knows that because he lived through that as a fan. I trust him. Believe it or
I
not.
don't, but go ahead.
Oh, I do.
I'm not there yet. Because I'm going to tell you what. A lot of people want to say, yeah, look what he did, blah, blah, blah. But look at a lot of mistakes that he got rid of at the end that he wound up signing that he had to get rid of. And through injury, players were called up. So everything wasn't based on what he did.
No, you're right. But at least they admitted their mistakes, not like past regimes that kept guys in there for whatever fucking reasons. We saw that a million times.
I'm not sold on him or the other guy yet. This little winning thing is not going to do it. I need consistency. I need at least 5-year run here. Then we could talk.
Well, this is year 1, so you got 4 more to go. All right. Let's go through the pending free agents. Pete Alonso. Let's start off right here. I have a feeling he will be back, but they're going to let him test the market as well as they should. Let him see what he's worth. Let him go through the whole experience and go from there. I think he's coming back. What says you?
I just put down who I want back and who I don't want back. That's how simply as I did it, because that's what obviously it doesn't come down to us, but I just think that this is what it should be. And I say yes to Pete Alonso.
Okay.
Do I think he's going to come back? I'm on the fence. I've been on record saying that I don't see him coming back. That may have changed toward the end of the year, but I'm on the fence right now. But I do want him back as a fan.
Yeah, we're doing this based on what we think, what we want to see. All right, Harrison Bader.
No.
Same here. No. I forgot that this fucking guy was
No.
even signed.
Yeah, get out of here.
Shintari Fujinami.
Yeah, go back to Oakland. See ya.
Jose Iglesias.
I just recently changed that.
Oh, really?
This afternoon I had an answer, but then I thought about it and I changed it.
Okay.
Originally I said yes, but now I'm saying no.
I am going to agree with you and say no as well, because I think you have to get younger. If you're going to have a utility guy,
Which
I
is
think he's
why
gotta
I changed my answer. And we have too many
Yeah.
infielders in the farm system.
Yeah. You got to get. I want a guy like a Cody Bellinger who's on my wish list. That's the guy I want. Anyway, JD Martinez.
No.
Yeah, same here. No. Adam Ottavino.
Stop. I'm done with that guy. Let's move on.
We got to bring him up. Okay. Jose Quintana.
No.
Interesting. I think he's a desperate option there. That's why I would say
that's fair enough, but right now, no.
Yeah. Brooks Raley.
He was injured. I want to say yes, just based on that guy that comes out of the bullpen.
Yeah.
Of what he can do.
Yeah. I would bring him back. Severino.
I'm on the fence about it. I got a question mark here. Depends on who we could sign as starters, and then maybe slot him in at third or fourth. Then maybe I would keep him. But if you gun to my head right now, I'd probably say no. But that's what would have. You can't bring this guy back talking about he's my number 1 or 2 starter. I'm sorry.
That's the problem. Yes, no. I think I would bring him back, but he can't be number 1 or number 2.
3 or 4, I could accept that. 1 or 2, I can't accept that.
Drew Smith.
No.
Same. This is an interesting one.
It is, because I got a question mark here.
Yeah.
I'm leaning towards yes.
Stanek. I am too, because listen, I'll give the man credit. He fucking sucked when he first got here.
Yeah, he got better.
Awful, but he got
gave
better.
A home run after home run. I was like, what is this guy? Remember, I called him the reject Rod Beck.
Yeah.
But he changed my mind a little bit. You know what? I'm going to say yes to him.
Yeah, I say yes to him as well. Jesse Winker.
1,000% yes.
Yeah, I mean,
you need that a-hole.
Yeah, you need. I think he can be the utility guy that plays the outfield occasionally and can DH. I think you bring him back. Okay, so here are the 2 guys that have options.
One player options.
Well, one option is a player option, and the other option is a club option. Look at your notes; I have them there. Okay, Manaea. He has an opt out.
Oh yeah, yes, yeah. I thought you were talking about the hitters. That's why I messed that up.
Yeah. What do you think?
No.
I think you're over Manaea.
I'm over him.
I think
I don't think he is who he thinks he is, and I don't think he is what they think he is. Like I said, he was our ace. He's not an ace.
Yeah, I agree.
And he's shown like that. I think that those latter games of the year is who he is, because he was never bred into that long, grueling season, and he just shown he ran out of gas.
No,
and
I agree.
Now at that age now, can you build yourself up to that? I doubt it.
I
So I'm going to
agree.
say I'm out on him.
And the last guy with the option is Phil Maton. That guy can go kick rocks.
No, go back to Tampa
Bro,
Bay, buddy.
I can't tell you how many times Danny
Oh God.
texted me when he was in. I think he hated him.
I was about to say. I'm about to text Danny. Which one? I forgot that. Who do you hate more, Phil Maton or Trevor May? Or are they running neck and neck?
For those who don't know, my brother Danny, he fucking hated Trevor May with a passion. A fucking passion. Did not like that man at all. They didn't understand why the Mets that was a disaster. Okay, so let's go through the roster of guys remaining because I how do we want to do this? I think for some of these guys, it's up in the air whether they'll be with the Mets next year because they could be traded or whatever. But I'm also, I guess, just give me your opinion on some of these guys too. What are we gonna do about Francisco Alvarez?
He's got to. I would give him another full year. He's got to stay healthy. That's my main thing with him. He's got to stay healthy and give us a full
140,
45 games.
I
140 to 145 games. He's got to stay healthy, man, because
yeah,
the problem with him is he's too injured, so there's no consistency with him. He comes back, he's got to get worked up. He gets worked up, he gets hurt again. And the same dog and pony show.
yeah.
He's got to stay injury. If he's got to find a way to keep his body, whether that's picking up another backup catcher to where maybe he gets more games at DH.
Yeah, that's a good point.
He's got to play more, man. He's got to be more available. If not, if he had another year the way he had this year, trade his ass. Let's move on. Time to get rid of him.
Here's the thing about Alvarez, and I will keep on saying this. Listen, nobody's 100% after spring training, right? That's what they always say. But I think with some of the injuries in the thumb, and I think, was it the shoulder was the other one? I just think he was playing hurt the whole year. That being said, my two concerns with him, he has the same swing, doesn't know how to shorten his swing. That's got to stop. You can't have the same swing to hit a home run every single time because that doesn't work. And even when he was getting hits towards the end of that Dodger series, it was the same swing. Like nothing changed there. So that's kind of the one thing. And brother, the defense has to get better. That defense, especially if your offense is struggling, your defense, your accuracy to throwing out base stealers has to get better in this day and age where people are fucking stealing right, left, and center. It has to get better. Has to get better. That's the bottom line. Because the Mets pitchers suck when it comes to holding guys on. So you have to counteract that somehow, some way by having somebody behind the plate who can throw guys out. Anyway, Luis Torrens. I don't really have an opinion of him one way or the other, but I don't know if he's the guy.
There was no other choice, I guess. But I don't want him back as a back.
Yeah.
I don't want him back. They could find somebody better.
Yeah. All right. We went through Alonso. We went through Iglesias. We know Lindor's not going anywhere. So
Mark Vientos should start. We don't even want to talk about him.
Yeah.
Don't mess that up again.
Vientos is either going to start at third or start at first. That's the bottom. I mean, that's what it's going to come down to. That's what I think is going to happen. Jeff McNeil.
If they could find a trade for this guy, they should pull the trigger.
I agree.
And start getting some of these young guys up. Obviously, we got Acuna on here, but yeah, if they could pull the trigger on a deal for him, yeah, they should do that.
Yeah. Acuna's on here. He's going to be the starting second baseman next year. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. Like, that's not even a fucking
because
question.
why would you have called him up at this part of the year?
Yeah, exactly.
They're already thinking about that.
Yeah, he's there at second base next year. It's going to be interesting, and maybe we should get into this a little bit now before we go into the outfielders and have like a pause here. But Jet Williams right now, who was one of the guys that they got from, I forget which trade it was, but he's down in the Arizona Fall League right now. And he's doing okay from what I saw. But let's Here's the thing, though. He's their top position player heading into next year, for as far as rankings are concerned. He's not even, um, so he could be. The ATA is supposed to be next year. So you got Jet Williams, shortstop slash outfielder. You got Drew Gilbert is another one that's supposed to be here next year. He's another outfielder. Um, Everybody keeps on forgetting about Ronnie Murcio, who plays all over the place. So those three guys, I think, along with Acuna, are going to be a huge factor next year. I think one way or the other, which is why I think it makes the other guys like a Marte, like a Winker, like a Tyrone
Tyrone
Taylor.
Taylor.
Yeah, like those guys. I don't know. Anyway, let's go to the outfielders. Nimmo's not going anywhere.
Nope.
Nimmo's got to get his head out of his ass, though. I think. I don't know what the hell happened with him this season. What do we think about Tyrone Taylor? Because he's an interesting.
It's all based on these guys that they got in the farm system. If they're ready to make a move with these guys, then none of these guys are going to stay. That's just, especially if you're looking to bring in some new blood too. Some of them being outfielders.
That's the thing. I think
there's not going to be room for all these people.
Yeah, I think that the question of who plays center field next year will be interesting because it's not going to be Tyrone Taylor and it's not going to be Harrison Bader. And I don't know what position in the outfield that a guy like Jet Williams plays or Drew Gilbert plays. I don't know how much more seasoning those guys need. Do you throw Murcio in center field? Let's just say, let's say for argument's sake, right? You bring back Alonso, you keep Vientos at third base, you put Acuna at second base. Do you put? Is it Mauricio? Is that how you say it? Or
Mauricio, running Mauricio.
Do you put Mauricio? Is he the center fielder next year? I don't know.
This is the stuff they got to figure out.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot to figure out.
Which that's why I don't like this whole ranking things. Like I get it, you got to do it because there's so many players, but don't rank your players. Just let them play and then look at it. And if you think they're ready, then you call them up. You said, all right, he's 27th. He's not ready yet. He needs another couple. You put too much things in your mind to overcomplicate things. Oh, he's number one. He needs to be brought up now just because he's number one and he winds up shit in the bed. Just go. Whoever's playing, they produce. You call them up. That's it. Done.
I will say it's not the Mets that are ranking them. It's the Major League Baseball.
No. But we're the Mets are looking at that too. Don't look at that. Forget about that stuff. Just go watch the players that you drafted play baseball and go by that. Don't sit next to the guy you brought to the game with you and say, oh, what do they have him doing, with this and that, blah, 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 blah. Forget about that stuff. Forget about it. Just watch it. If he's ready, you think he's ready, let's go. Let's do it.
I will tell you, as somebody who covered minor league baseball, they don't care about the rankings. I'm telling you that right now. I do think because if that was the case, Acuna would have not been up this year.
No, but what I'm saying is from what people have mentioned, they say it when they speak. That's why I'm saying I've heard it before.
Right.
They've said these things when they speak. That's why I'm saying it. I don't know that. I've never been part of that life. But if you tell me something, I could base my opinion off what you're telling me. That's why I'm saying it.
Mm-hmm.
Just go and look at the players you have. That's it. And make a goddamn decision. Stop having these guys have cobwebs for 2 and 3 years in the minor leagues. Either they could play baseball or they can't. Let's go. Because then that's going to put it, then it's going to put in a block into who you want to sign, who you're thinking about signing because you're waiting for him to do this and waiting for him to do that. Come on now, let's go. Let's get a move on. We don't have time. Let's go. This is where they're going to show what they can do and what kind of, GM he is and what kind of team he's going to put together after the little run they just had.
No, I definitely agree with that. I mean, I don't know. And what's the reason why you don't trust Stearns? I'm curious. I don't think we've talked about this.
No, I kind of said it before. He to me, right at the beginning of the year, before the season even started, I'm like, why are 3 or 4 of these people even on this team? And those are the same people that wind up being removed games later, or why Vientos was called up and down. He should have been up from the beginning. Could have been a different year. I don't know that. I'm just saying why this kid's not getting a chance. And he showed you why he needed to get a chance. There's a lot of different things here and there. Granted, like you said, he recognized his problems and he got rid of them. I understand that too. But it's only 1 year. I got it. I'm the fed up Mets fan that's tired of seeing his little rainbow little runs and then everything stops and they suck for another 5 to 10 years. Seriously, before I give you A grade, at least 5 years of consistency.
Yeah.
And that's
No.
without, and listen, that's not his fault. I'm a Mets fan, been through a lot of crap. You've been through a lot of crap. It's not fair to him, but guess what? He took the job, they hired him. For me as a Mets fan, that's my standard. Not a little run, and now we could suck for the next 4 years. No. Take this and run with it for another. You're going to make mistakes. I'm cool with that. But can we get to the playoffs next year and the year after that and the year after that and maybe go deeper and deeper to hopefully maybe win the World Series? Then I'm done. He's king. But right now, I can't just base that off 1 year. I've seen too much garbage.
No, I don't base it off of 1 year, but he does have a track record in Milwaukee. And
I don't look at it the same, but that's fine. That's fine.
And I think this might sound silly, but I think the fact that he was a Mets fan growing up, he fucking knows the suffering. He knows how inconsistent this franchise has been over the years.
Yeah, I'm not going to fall into that trap because then he's going to try to use that as an excuse. I'm good.
No, I don't think he's going to use it as an excuse. I just think that that is something that's there, that's in the back of his mind that he knows. He's not. I don't think he's stupid. Like they're doing things now that never really worked with the Wilpons, to where, listen, they ate money because they were going to get prospects back that were gonna refill the farm system. Wilpons never did that. So I do think in some ways they kind of realize, and you look at what's happening with this team right now.
That goes to my point. You have to spend money. If you're willing to eat money that you weren't supposed to eat because you made a dodo move, because if you weren't willing to eat that money, you're laying in the shit bed that you created. So if you're willing to eat money to get rid of somebody to get a prospect back, you have to learn, and the next person you sign has to be better. And you should know that. You have to know that. You have to know that. Because if I know my poor self sitting on that sofa when they signed Scherzer, I was like, this is not going to end well.
I know. We talked about it.
This is not going to. If I know that, you were just thinking Scherzer name 10 years prior. That's the Scherzer. No, we knew it. Verlander, I was like, what are we doing here? We're just fucking wasting money. This is not going to work. And sure enough, it didn't work.
You know it's not working right now. The Yankees who are down 3-0.
They just scored another run. These guys, and this guy Edmonds always on the base paths,
bro.
Maybe he might be MVP
here,
and then he'll disappear next year.
See, this is that guy right there. I'm pointing at my iPad. The Mets need a guy like that. He's got versatility. He can play shortstop. He can play outfield. He's a fucking gnat on the bases.
These players, they need guys like that. They have a good series, and they wind up getting a 2, 3, or 4 year contract. So, let's see what happens.
Well, speaking of which, because one of my guys that's on my wish list is playing in this series, and he's going to be a free agent after this year. And I know we've kind of talked about. You look at the list; it's not really like great, especially from a pitching perspective. But there are people to be had, at least through free agency. Now, we're not counting Soto here, guys.
No, I got 7 people. I got 7 people on my list. One of them, they're not Soto. We already know how I feel about Soto.
Yeah, I've got 4 guys on my list. But we're not talking about Soto because we know both Lige and I want Soto. So, let's just go one. I'd say one, you say one. We'll do it that way and talk about each guy. This is a guy we talked about. We've seen him play in person. Anthony Santander. Bring him in to replace Marte.
He's on my list. Well, I have 3 guys that if McNeil's, because he plays the outfield too. So if any one of these outfielders we have now are traded or they don't re-sign them, then I wouldn't mind having one of these three guys. Anthony Santander's one of them. Bellinger
He's on my list,
and Hernandez, who's on the Giants Teoscar.
and he's on my list as well. So we
So,
got three.
so they could just wind up playing interchangeable,
Well,
depending on
yeah.
who they lose. If they lose anyone, trade anyone, yada yada yada. Because you can't sign everybody. You just can't
Right.
do that. Obviously,
And I think the good thing about all those three guys is that they can DH too.
that too.
I don't think the Mets have really yet, since the DH has been implemented, they really haven't figured that out.
I think Cody Bellinger can play first base as well. I think he's played first base as well.
I think you're right. He's versatile. He's oh God, who's the fucking guy that I always said? He's like a Zorbis type of guy. Remember, he was that I was always jealous of Ben Zorbis because I always said, God damn, the Mets fucking need somebody.
Yeah, I always wanted them to get him, but whatever.
Yeah, that was the old regime. So my other guy that I had on here, besides Santander, Toscar Hernandez, and Cody Bellinger, go get Corbin Burns.
Corbin Burns is a I got him on the list. He's a number one starter.
He's an ace. He's got a relationship with Stearns.
I was about to say that.
In Milwaukee, so maybe that's going to help. Listen, I know the Orioles are probably going to come after him, but listen, you really build a rotation with you've got Stearns. Burns is your number one starter. You can slide in Senga, number two, and then you're gonna have to rebuild. And maybe one of these guys who's down in the farm system right now, who didn't really pitch all that well this year.
But this is where the Severino comes into play.
Well, yeah. So maybe you bring back a Severino, and then maybe one of these guys like Vasil, who we've heard about for fucking years already, he comes in later on in the year. Now, one guy I forgot to mention, we didn't talk about him because we didn't even go to the pitchers. Peterson. How the fuck I don't know. We didn't go to the pitchers. That's my mistake. What? I mean, he's got to listen. I know we both shat on him big time.
But he's another one as a Mets whole. He's that singular person that he had surgery on his hip. Blah 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 blah. We need consistency out of him. That's the biggest thing with him.
Yeah.
So I got to see it more. Should he come back now based on what he did? You could probably give him like a 2-year contract if he's willing to take that, and you go from there.
No, he's not a free agent. So
okay. So then it's fine. Then when I'm not, he's gonna be there. He could be He could be a number 3 starter. I don't mind that. Maybe put Severino, bring him back. He's number 4. I don't have a problem with that as long as it's Corbin Burns, and then you got Senga. That's fine. I could live with that. And then maybe I don't know, pick up somebody else for a 5th starter. Do whatever you got to do. Slide in this guy that they've been talking about for years. Who knows?
Yeah, I would like to see them do, instead of going out and getting one of these fucking trash guys to fill out a fifth starter. Why not fucking bring one of these guys, one of these rookies? So by the way, Peterson, he was in arbitration. He avoided arbitration, so he signed a 1-year deal for $2.15 million. So I'm assuming he's going to be arbitration eligible again this offseason. So either you do the whole arbitration thing, go through that shit, or sign him to a deal. Rip up his rookie contract.
One of these farm guys being the 5th starter. There's no pressure on you as a 5th starter, and then we could see who you are.
Yeah, I agree.
It's not going to take long to figure out if you suck or you're good. And there's no better than to prove yourself in the major leagues.
But no. I agree. So on that point, there are 2 guys to keep an eye on in spring training, and that is going to be Vasil, who I talked about, and then Blade Tidewell.
Mm-hmm.
The problem is that both those guys were hurt this past season a little bit, so they might just start the season in AAA. Another question for you, sir. What do you do about Edwin Diaz? He's not going anywhere.
You got to keep him, but he got a short leash as being the closer.
I agree.
So I wouldn't mind going after a guy like Tanner Scott, who I have on my list. I like him. I have also an option here, just in case. Let's say Pete Alonso leaves, a cheaper version of him. He's 34 years old. You get signed into like a 2-year contract. His numbers are okay, but I think it could work. Christian Walker from the Diamondbacks.
Yep, his name has come up a lot.
And maybe for a 3-starter, if you could get him on the cheaper end, the actually guy that's pitching tonight for the Dodgers, Walker Buehler. I like him.
Oh, you know who else is a free agent? The guy who pitched in game 2, who does this stupid shit with his glove. What the fuck's his name?
Oh,
You know who I'm talking about, right? For the Dodgers.
why am I drawing a blank?
Hold on, I'll bring it up right now. He pitched game 1. I'm sorry, because Yamamoto pitched.
Yamamoto pitched game 2. Why am I drawing a blank
2.
on? Oh, Flaherty.
Yeah,
Jack Flaherty, right? Jack Flaherty.
yeah, Flaherty. He's a free agent.
Yeah, I saw that. I actually would think about that one.
Listen, the bottom line, and you're not even counting the trade market and what you can probably get for some of these prospects. The Mets have a fucking shit ton of options this offseason. They can't fuck this up. I think that's what the kind of the bottom line is.
You also gotta start making decisions on what you gotta do with some of these guys in the phone. You were just going to that.
Well, yeah.
You gotta start making decisions. We can't hold on to these guys for. I think that's what kinds of sometimes bites us in the butt. You hold on to these guys too long, thinking they're gonna turn around and be somebody, and then they don't, and then you can't train them for nothing. You guys, there's too many people that play the same position or various of the same position. You can't keep everybody. You got to make a decision. Let's make some trades. Let's bring some guys in here and let's move on. The Mets have to figure this shit out. They have to figure this out.
I think they will. Let's go through the rest of the pitchers because we haven't done that. Reed Garrett.
I would say yes to him.
Yeah, same. Our buddy Buto.
I would say yes to Buto too.
Yeah. Danny Young.
No,
he's not.
Definitely not. No.
And then
we had another Alex Young. No, he pitched briefly with them.
Yeah. What about Tyler McGill?
No, stop. I'm done with that guy.
He's going to be that guy that's going to be in AAA all year that you bring up when you have an emergency.
No, just get rid of him. Get him out of here.
I don't think they're going to get rid of him. He's under control.
There's good. Control and trade him. You have the control to trade him, so do it.
I don't think they're going to trade him. They're going to keep him down in the minors. He's going to be that guy that you bring up.
I don't want to see him anymore.
Emergency. No, I get it.
Go away.
I get it. I completely understand it, but yeah, is there anything else to say as we wind down here? Spent a considerable amount of time talking about the Mets, like we said we were. I mean, is there anything else you have to say about this team right now?
No, that's it. I just want to see this continue. That's it. Make some moves this year. Start writing some checks for that make sense. And you prove what you could do with, coming out of the doldrums and doing what they did. You have to build on that. You can't expect to do the same with the same team. That's unacceptable. That I can't accept.
Well, here's the thing. What Stern said in that press conference this past week. We enjoyed this run, Stern said. Our fan base enjoyed this run. We have great memories from this run. It's also time for us to begin to move forward and see what we can do to build on this to ensure we have the type of sustainable competitiveness, true sustainable competitiveness that's eluded this organization for a long time. He knows, brother. I told you. He realizes the situation and kind of like what's expected.
Yeah, like I said, he could say all that stuff. I could say the same thing. I need to see it, and this is your time.
Right. No, yeah.
So until you show me what you're talking about, your words mean nothing to me.
I agree. Well, I don't know if they mean nothing to me, but by the way, things are about to get very ugly in the Bronx right now. Jesus Christ.
They better get out of this, because if not, this game's gonna get out of hand real quick.
You might see the Bronx might burn down tonight. Just FYI.
I gotta make sure I lock my windows and my doors. Even though I'm not really close to Yankee Stadium, but
No,
still,
I know. I get
bad things travel fast.
it. Especially in New York City. Good
Jesus
Lord.
Christ.
All right, that's going to do it for us. This was episode 19 of Two Dummies That Just Watch, a sports podcast a sports podcast between friends. We're going to be right back at you later this week to talk about the Giants, to talk about the Knicks and the Nets, and try to figure out what the hell's going on with these Yankees. Because, brother, it is not looking good right now. I'm a little, I have to admit, I'm a little surprised by what's happening right now. So, anyway, I'm Will Hernandez here for Lee J. Perilla, and we will see you later this week. Peace out.
Later.